Hey guys, how you doing? Ask Judo here, Johnny Judoka, and we're just gonna sit here and talk a little bit about Jiu-Jitsu and mental health and how it plays in John's everyday, his daily routine. And so, John, go ahead and explain yourself. Kind of tell, what rank you are in Jiu-Jitsu and how long you've been doing Judo, and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Johnny Judoka. I am a purple belt under Professor Jefferson at Revolution Dojo, and I'm a green belt in Judo under Sensei Jaime Lascano. And I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu cumulatively for about 5.5, 6 years. I started almost a decade ago, but I had to take breaks. I have mental illnesses that I deal with every single day. I have schizoaffective bipolar, which means, as simply as I can put it, it's a mood disorder with psychosis. So psychosis should not be confused with like psychopathy or sociopathy. Psychosis simply means you're not able to distinguish what's real from not, and that can manifest in ways like paranoia or maybe hallucinations, audio-visual, and even other kinds. I also have obsessive compulsive disorder. I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and so I obsess over things that I feel like I should be doing to cope with that. And I've had to do extensive therapy to help with that. Jiu-Jitsu has been really good for me because mainly it's the community of people. I've had to deal with instructors that are not supportive or understanding of mental health, and being a part of Revolution Dojo, being part of the BJJ Revolution team has been a blessing. All of the black belts, it's just everyone has been really understanding of my situation. I will say, however, that BJJ is not a cure-all for mental illness, and it should not be a substitute for professional care. I meet a lot of people who say that it helps with anxiety, and that can happen. It helps you stay in the moment, it helps you stay grounded, but it is not a replacement for when you have a panic attack. So sometimes whenever you have a panic attack, you have to stop what you're doing, decompress. So that's a little bit about me. I love Jiu-Jitsu. It helps me stay focused. I just randomly was looking for things to get myself have more confidence in my mental health and my physical health, and Jiu-Jitsu was peace.
So, same here. As you know, I've suffered from anxiety and panic attacks myself, and I could definitely agree with you that Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, they're not a substitute to professional help, because I had to get professional help as well. I will say that Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, or any kind of hobby, does help, train the mind so that you can get a little bit better at controlling when you do have these panic attacks, and you learn to breathe, all that stuff. And I feel that talking about this, not a lot of people are brave enough to talk about it, and I admire you and appreciate you wanting to talk about it, because for me, it took a long time for me to talk about it, and now that I have talked about it with a lot of people, it's helped me a lot. So I hope that us talking about it today helps you, and maybe helps some of the viewers that are watching as well. Guys, if you hear the background music, the background sound, it's because we just got done training our Jiu-Jitsu class that Professor Patel was teaching here at Revolution Dojo, and they're still training, they're still doing the roles, and I think John and I can agree on this, that hearing them just training helps us mentally as well. So I guess the thing that we can take from any of this would be that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that, find something that you love, so that way hey, there's something beyond the panic attack, there's something beyond these feelings that we get,
Right.
and we have motivation to want to continue, you know. And so, and were you always, did you always have anxiety?
Not really.
When did it start?
So I started dealing with my mood disorder when I was about 14 or 15 or 16. I was staying up late at night because it started with academics. So growing up, I was very good at academics. And then when I went to high school, I realized I wasn't the biggest fish in the sea. You had people going to Ivy League schools, and I was still struggling just to get my grades up. And so I would sleep very, very little, and I would trigger very violent episodes. And I would try to go to school, and it wouldn't work out. And then as I grew up, around 2021, I started dealing with anxiety. I didn't know what it was. All I knew, my chest was tight. My brain was filled with incredibly violent and negative thoughts. And I thought that I was going to hurt someone. So there'd be times where I was at home and I would just be like almost like a fetal catatonic position because I didn't know what I was experiencing, and I didn't know it was anxiety until several years later. And so after all years and years of being in the hospital, I've been hospitalized in psychiatric facilities over 100 times. I've literally lost count since 2018. The doctors and I finally agreed that it was schizoaffective bipolar with OCD. So let me explain what those are. So schizoaffective is the schizophrenia part, the psychosis part. So I get very delusional, I get very paranoid. I don't typically get hallucinations, thank goodness. The bipolar part is I get manic, and so when people hear the word manic, they mistake it for like, oh, I'm more energetic. It's the easiest way I can describe it is an elevated mood state. You feel like you're 110%. You start doing things that are more risky. You start more promiscuous, gambling, spending, being overly productive, like to the point where it's like unnatural. You know, it's good to work hard. I remember when I was manic one time, I was in the gym. I did 3 competition classes in one day. That's not normal nor healthy. And the day after I went to the hospital. And then the OCD part is obsessive compulsive disorder. I obsess over religious trauma in my life, and so my compulsion is to try to do things that will please a higher power because I feel like I'm so anxious about that. So it was interesting because it didn't hit me all at once. As I grew up, it progressed into what it is now, and with the help of medication and with the help of medication therapy, it's gotten a lot better. But it's definitely changed over time. There's some aspects of it that doesn't bother me as much. I don't get depressed as much anymore as I did when I was a teenager, but I get way more manic than I was when I was a teenager.
So you mentioned religious trauma, right?
Yeah.
So 2 questions. Number one, not that it's relevant to anything, but I'm just curious for my own curiosity. Can't even talk today. Is what religion were you or are you when this happened?
So I was. My parents are very devout Christians. My dad's actually a pastor, but he works to just help pay the bills. So a lot of my trauma surrounded the Christian faith.
So you felt like no matter what you did, you weren't worthy of the blessing. Is that kind of what it is?
Part of it. So I had sexual trauma happen whenever I was in church, which is a really nasty thing. And then I've been in churches where I feel so. The way it manifested is, I would try to be the best Christian I could be, and any thought that was my OCD, intrusive thoughts. I was like, you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna hurt that person. You're gonna do this. So I was like, okay, if I'm having all these thoughts about like I'm not good enough to go to heaven, I'm not good enough to do this, and I'm just filled with all these negative thoughts. I'm gonna go to hell. I'm gonna go to hell. And it's just constant. So the way I would do that is I would partake in religious behavior. I try to serve all the time. I try to be at all the events. I try to be the good Christian boy that I thought that would cure my condemnation to hell. And it's taken me a long time. So right now I'm not religious, but it's taken a lot of therapy to get to the point where I'm like, where I'm at right now is I don't know if there is a God, but right now I'm not concerned about that because I feel like I need to be more concerned about my own life and what I'm doing and just do the best I can.
Right. And that's all we can, right? Is one day at a time, one step at a time, is try to be 1% better every single day, right? My suggestion to you, and it's helped me, is I would say don't reach for the mountain every single day. You know what I mean? Just take one step at a time, and eventually you'll get up to that mountain that you want to get to.
Right.
Because I used to put the same amount of pressure on myself.
Right.
Either go to the extreme or don't do it at all. And, with the OCD and all that, I used to think that I had to go 100% every single day. And there's a lot of motivational speakers and all that type of stuff that says, hey, go 110% or don't do it at all. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna go 110% when we do things. However, there's steps to these things because if you go too much, kind of like when you were training, you're gonna crash. And you want to kind of avoid the crash, especially for somebody that's going through mental, health issues, anxiety issues, panic issues, manic issues, psychosis issues. You have to manage it little by little, one bite at a time, one step at a time. And I've seen your progress. And,
Thank you.
I'm very proud of your progress. And the fact that you're here today, sitting in front of this camera, says a lot about where you want to be a year from now, 10 months from now, a day from now. And I think everybody appreciates it because not a lot of people are brave enough to get on camera and talk about these things. So if there's anything that you could say to the viewers that they can take from this brief interview, and what would you like to tell them?
I'm glad that everyone will be alive. I think sometimes we don't get told that enough, especially when we're struggling with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, even homicidal thoughts. Is that I'm glad everyone who is watching this is alive, and just that things pass. The feelings you have, whether it be suicidal or whenever you have them, they do pass. They're not going to stay forever. That's not how feelings work. Any feeling passes, whether it be positive or negative or maybe psychologically detrimental, they do pass. I think reaching out to your community and finding some kind of outlet for your mental health. For me, it's art and jiu-jitsu, and to help you to cope with how you're feeling, and also not being afraid to seek professional help. I know for me, culturally speaking, I'm just very lucky to have the parents that I have because as being an Asian, mental health is a very taboo subject, but my parents are very loving and supporting. Trying to find some of that support anywhere. And then just know that you are enough, you're loved, people care about you more than you think, and reach out to others whenever you're struggling. Even if you don't know how they can help you, just give them a call.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I appreciate you telling everybody that because a lot of people that's listening and watching this video, they're probably going through some hard times. I feel like every single person on this planet goes through hard times. Some of us admit it, some of us don't, and then some of us cope with it differently. You know what I mean? But hearing somebody that may be going through the same thing they're going through, you never know. It can save their lives, all that, and I think it's very important. What you're doing today, and but I also wanted to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Outside of just the whole mental health thing, is you know, what plans do you have in the next 12 months? Where do you see yourself in the next 12 months? What goals do you have? What aspirations do you have? Because what I want to do is I want to go back to this 12 months later, you know what I mean, and see the progress. Because you're already having success in your life, and you're going to continue to have success in your life because you got a big support group. You got people, everybody here at Revolution Dojo. You got, you know, people outside of Revolution Dojo, you know, that are rooting for you, rooting for me.
Yeah.
It's not just you. I'm going through stuff too, but you know, we're gonna stick to this together.
Right.
And you know, where do you see yourself in 12 months?
So, basic things first. I want to be out of the hospital for a longer period of time. I would like to make it a year without being in the hospital again. Sometimes that's impossible with how I feel sometimes. I know that I want to be able to overcome some of my trauma with trauma therapy. The good thing about trauma therapy is that there's a time date to how many sessions you need to do for trauma. Because basically, it's not just I go to therapy and talk about trauma forever. You can actually nip it in the bud with specific trauma therapy. So talk about trauma therapy, process it. Continue doing YouTube and be consistent with it.
And speaking of YouTube, before you continue, guys, Johnny has his own YouTube channel. It is Johnny Judoka. So go ahead and subscribe. He has about 800 subscribers right now. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers probably in the next 30 days or so. So, you know, if you guys don't mind going on his channel, I'll put it in the bio and the notes of this video, and that way you can go straight to it. But go ahead and give him a, you know, subscribe and check him out, man. He's got some good content, and you know, he's slowly getting where he wants to be. And I'd like to see him at 1,000 subscribers probably in the next 30, 45 days. That's a short-term goal, so we'll help you get there. So go ahead.
So, and then the other one is just being more independent. Because I live with my parents, that's a cultural thing. And I want to be able to...
You're Korean, right?
Yes.
So South Korean?
South Korean, yeah.
Okay, so he's South Korean, so the culture, you know, his culture, they stick together, so it's real tight-knit, so...
Yeah, it's different from some cultures, because some cultures, they're like, okay, you're 18, get out, you know, do your life, whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of how they were with me.
Yeah.
When I was younger. It's like, hey man, you're 18, you're done.
But for me, my parents, they stick with me. I'm about to be 30 and I'm still living with my parents, but I need that support because if I don't have that, I could be in a lot of trouble. Anyways, but the final things I would say about the next month is just, or the next 12 months is, you know, I'm in a relationship with a girl and I hope that continues to blossom and continue to work. And then also just find my stride with content creation, hopefully being able to monetize what I'm doing, because I'm also an experienced graphic designer. I've done art for over 10 years. And so hopefully I can make that into more of a full-time job. So.
That's some good goals, man. I mean, a lot of people that I know, even at 30, 40 years old, you know, they have one or two goals. It seems like you got a lot of goals, and a lot of goals that you can actually accomplish in the next 12 months.
Right.
You know, and then after that, then I would say, let's recap it and then see where we're at that point, and then make a few more other goals.
Yeah.
You know, every year, every month, you know, do something so that way you strive to be better, because you're getting better, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on, guys. We're gonna probably do a few more of these with him as we progress. You know, this was just the first one. You know, really no edits. We did a good job. I don't think we need any edits on this video, but you know, for the most part, we're just gonna continue doing this. And hey, John, man, I appreciate you. You know, coming on the channel. I'm gonna take it easy, brother, and I'm gonna go on his channel on Johnny Judoka here real soon. We're gonna set that up, and we'll do a video on there as well. I want to support your channel. I want it to grow as well, and maybe John will be one of the guys that helps me to, you know, to do some instructional videos as well, because I'm gonna start doing that on the channel. And yeah, so stay tuned for that, guys. Go check him out. really appreciate the support, and I also want to say that we're not giving any mental health advice on this. We're not professionals. We're just kind of telling our stories, and you take it for what it is, and never you're gonna see us ever give advice. We're just telling our stories, guys. We want it to be out there because we feel like if we say it, then it might help somebody in the future. You never know. So appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Like, share, comment. Go on his channel, Johnny Judoka. Check him out. Do the same. Thank you so much. Ash Judo out and Johnny Judoka out. Take it easy, guys.
That's good.
So we something to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did.